Hi students, my name is Madhusudan Rao, working as assistant professor in the Department of IT. In last session we have discussed the database and database users. In today's session we are going to discuss enhanced entity relationship model. In that we are going to discuss subclass, superclass, inheritance, specialization, generalization, constraints on specialization and generalization, and finally specialization, generalization, lattice example university. So coming to, okay, now we discuss enhanced entity relationship model. Before knowing to enhanced entity relationship model, first we have to know the what is ER model. Okay, so an ER model describes the structure of the database in diagrammatic way, so which is known as entity relationship diagram. An ER model is a blueprint or design of a database. Later it can be implemented as a database. Okay, so I am repeating what is ER model. An ER model is a design or blueprint of a database. It can be implemented later in database, okay, or it is represented in diagrammatic way. Now coming to enhanced entity relationship model, the ER model includes all the modeling concepts of the ER model. In addition, it incorporates the following additional semantic data modeling concepts: specialization, generalization, categorization and aggregation. Okay. So next see what is subclasses and superclasses. So in first we discuss the one example, then we get the clarity what is subclass and what is superclass. See here the example, here employee is an entity type is the superclass. Okay, the employee is an entity, type is the superclass, which contains specific attributes: name, fname, mnit, lname, ssn, birth date and addresses. Okay, the employee having the all these attributes. Again the employee was deriving three more subclasses. One is engineer, one subclass, technician, one subclass, and secretary. Here three subclasses are derived from the employee, and the secretary contains its specific attribute typing speed, and as well as the technician contains its specific attribute T grade, and like that the engineer also contains the specific attribute engineering attribute. So the employee is the superclass deriving three subclasses, and these subclasses may use the attributes of the superclass also. Okay, so whatever the attributes contains in the superclass, that attributes also used by the secretary subclass and the technician subclass and the engineer subclass. Along with that, each and every subclasses having their specific attribute, that is secretary contains typing speed, technician contains T grade and engineering contains engineering type. So like that every subclass may use the superclass attributes as well as their own specific attribute. Here again the employee can derive one more attribute, one more subclass, manager. Here the manager is the subclass and it having the relationship with the project. Okay, they have a relation with the project. So the manager belongs to the project. So this is manager is subclass, again it contains the relation with one more subclass, project, maintaining relationship managers. Okay, here the employee also deriving two subclasses, hourly employee and salaried employee. Based upon the pay scale, we are determining the hourly employee or salaried employee. So, hourly employee contains the specific attribute pay scale, and salary employed contains the specific attribute salary. Again, the hourly employee having the subclass trade union and contains the relationship belongs to. Okay, so the hourly employee belongs to the trade union. So in that version, the trade union is the subclass, the hourly employee is the superclass. Okay, I am repeating. In that situation, trade union is the subclass, hourly employee is the superclass. The hourly employee having specific attribute pay scale, and again the hourly employee is the subclass of employee. Okay, I am giving employee is the superclass, deriving subclass hourly employee, again hourly employee deriving subclass trade union. Okay, so a superclass may have additionally subgroupings. Okay, the superclass can have the additionally meaningful subgroupings is called the subclasses. Okay, let's see. An entity type may have additional meaningful subgroupings of its entities. Okay, so example, employee may be further grouped into secretary, manager, engineer, technician. Okay, so employee is the superclass and secretary, engineer, technician as the subclasses. Like that, the manager is the subclass, employees who are managers, and salary employee, hourly employee based upon the employee's method of pay. Okay, so an entity type may have additional meaningful subgrouping of its entities, that is called subgrouping, is called subclasses or subtypes. Okay, so here the employee entity is called superclass, and the superclass or supertype, here the secretary, engineer, technician or the subclass or subtypes. Okay, next see. So each of these subgroupings is a subset of employee entities, right? So definitely the engineer, the secretary, the technician, or both or all three are belongs to the employee. So that the subgrouping is the subset of employee entities. Okay. Next, each is called subclass of the employee, and employee is the superclass of the each of these subclasses. So again, these are called superclass subclass relationships. Means employee is the superclass, again within that secretary is the subclass, and employee is the superclass, and technician is the subclass, and employee is the superclass, and manager is the subclass. Okay, so like that we are defining the superclass and the subclass. Okay, next, so these are also called as easier relationships. Okay, so secretary is a employee, and technician is a employee, and engineer is a employee. So note that an entity that is member of a subclass represents the same real world entity as some member of the superclass. Okay, subclasses and superclasses, these are also called easier relationships. Means a secretary is a employee and the technician is a employee. Okay, here one note is there, an entity that is member of a subclass represents the same real world entity as some members of the superclass. For example, here Vignans is the superclass, within that employee is the subclass. So within that employee some faculty belongs to different departments, IT, CSE and ECE. So like that, in Vignan University, employees are the subclass. Within that employee, we have different subclasses, IT department, CSE department and ECE department. So that the ECE faculty should be the employee of superclass. Okay, so that is the note. An entity that is the member of subclass represents the same real world entity as some member of its superclass. So the ECE faculty or a CSE faculty or IT faculty, these are the subclasses, but these are the some real world entities in the superclass. So definitely they are belongs to the superclass employee and Vignan University superclasses. Okay. Next, the subclass member is the same entity in the distinct specific role. Okay. So the employee was the subclass of the Vignan University. Within that, three more subclasses, IT, CSE, ECE. Okay. So for that, the ECE faculty will teach ECE subjects and CSE faculty will teach CSE subjects. So like that, every department faculty have specific roles. Okay. But these entities are belongs to the superclass members, but the subclass entity also having the specificness. Okay, the EC faculty teaches only EC. Okay, CSE faculty will teaches CSE. So like that. Next, an entity cannot exist in the database merely by being a member of subclass. It must also be a member of superclass. Okay, so the ECE is the subclass of the employee relation or employee superclass. So definitely ECE is not belongs to a subclass member, but also it belongs to a superclass members. Okay. So I hope clear with this slide what is superclass and what is subclass. So I am repeating once again, here Vignan University is the superclass, within that employee is the subclass. Again the employee subclass, we have three more subclasses, IT, CSE, ECE. Okay, so the ECE faculty on CSE and IT faculty should be the members of the superclass employee and Vignan University. Okay, so at this case, these are the subclasses, this is the superclass. Next see subclasses and superclasses. Example, here engineer is the subclass and manager is the subclass and salaried employee is also one subclass. Okay, these three subclasses are derived from here employee subclass. Okay, so this is the main superclass. From the superclass we are deriving three more subclasses, engineer, manager and salaried employee. Again, this salaried employee is deriving one more subclass, engineer, manager. Okay, so engineer, definitely that employee comes under, engineer manager comes under employee superclass. Along with that have three more subclasses. One is engineer, manager and salaried employee. Okay, so the engineer task belongs to the manager and his pay method is salaried. Okay, I am repeating, the engineering manager is deriving three subclasses, that engineer belongs to the employee superclass and is belongs to manager and his pay is salaried employee. Okay, so let's see. A salaried employee who is also an engineering manager belongs to the three subclasses. In the previous slide we have discussed manager, engineer and salaries employee. Okay, it is not necessary that every entity in a superclass be a member of some subclasses. Okay, so it is not necessary. So whatever the entities in the superclass, that must not be a member of the subclasses. Okay, so in previous slides we discussed the secretary is having the specific attribute typing speed, like that the engineer having the specific attribute engineering type. So like that every subclass having their specific attributes and specificness or specific roles. Okay. So next see attribute inheritance, superclasses, subclasses, relationships. So attribute inheritance means in the here series slides, here these are the attributes fname, MNIT, name, LName, SSN, birth date, address. So these are the attributes of the employee. Okay. So these attributes are inherited to the subclass secretary. Okay. So these attributes may be used by the all these subclasses secretary, technician, engineer, manager and hourly employee, salary employee. So all these subclasses can use these attributes of superclass, and along with that these subclasses having their specific attribute typing speed and T grade and engineering type and salaried employees salary and pay scale. So like that every subclasses having their specific or unique attribute along with the superclass attributes. Okay. Okay, see this. So all attributes of the entity as a member of the superclass. Okay, so whatever the attributes is defined in the subclass also that should be a member of the superclass. Okay, and all relationships of the entity as a member of the superclass. Okay, in previous example employee and secretary one relationship, employee manager one relationship, employee engineer one relationship. So that should be a member of the superclass entity. Okay, one more example in the previous slides the secretary as well as technician and engineer inherit the attributes of name, SSN from employee. Okay, so here no need to get all the attributes from the superclass. So whatever the attributes required to the subclass, that attributes only inherited from the superclass to subclass. Okay, that is what we are saying. Okay, the technician and engineer secretary inherit the attributes name, SSN and so different. So whatever the required of attributes that will be inherited to the that subclasses technician, engineering and secretary. So every secretary entity will have values for the inherited attributes. Okay. So I hope you all of you clear with inheritance. Okay. So inheritance is nothing but so getting the properties from the superclass to subclass. Here employee is the superclass, it contains the attributes fname, LName, DOB, SSN like that. So those attributes are inherited to the subclasses secretary, engineer and technicians. Okay, that is the inheritance. Here in the context employee is the superclass or supertype, technician and engineer and secretary is the subclasses or subtypes. Okay, I hope all of you clear these three: superclass, subclass and inheritance. Now we will see specialization. Okay, specialization is the process of defining set of subclasses of a superclass. Here superclass is the employee and employee is the superclass and set of subclasses technician, engineer, secretary. Okay, these are the subclasses. Okay, so specialization is the process of defining set of subclasses of a superclass. Okay, so employee is the superclass defining set of subclasses: technician, engineer, and secretary. Okay, the set of subclasses is based upon some distinguished characteristics of the entities in the superclass. Okay, so distinguished characteristics of the entities means here the secretary contains the specific attribute typing speed. Okay, so the secretary contains specific attribute typing speed, and as well as engineer contains the specific attribute engineering type, and technician contains the specific attribute T grade. So like that a subclass can contains the specific attribute. Okay, so here the example: secretary, engineer, technician is a specialization of the employee based upon the job type. Okay, so a superclass may have several specialization. So let's take one more example. For example, vehicle is the superclass. For example, vehicle is the superclass. Within that, I am deriving truck, car, and bike. Okay, so these are the three subclasses. Okay, so vehicle is the superclass. I am deriving three subclasses: truck, car, and bike. So these are the set of subclasses, and they having specific attributes. Means the truck is having six-wheeler specific attribute, and car is having four-wheeler specific attribute, and bike is having two-wheeler. So that is the specific attributes to that subclasses. Okay, so that the specialization of the superclass may have several specializations. Next, see, is the specialization process allows us to do the following. One is define a set of subclasses of an entity type. So the same example. So here entity type is nothing but superclass. Okay, so from the vehicle I am deriving three subclasses: car, truck, and bus, and establish additional specific attributes with each subclass. So we are specifying car is the four-wheeler, bike is the two-wheeler, and truck is the six-wheeler. So we are specifying the specific attributes. Okay, next establish additional specific relationship types between each subclasses. Okay, so here the car, the truck, the bus, or the subclasses means. Okay, now we are establishing the relation between these subclasses by the help of a specific attribute called fuel. Okay, here the bike will move through the fuel petrol, and the car will move through the petrol only. So that is means establishing the relation between these two subclasses. Okay, I hope you clear. Define a set of subclass of an entity type. Here entity type is nothing but the superclass. Here vehicle is the superclass, deriving three subclasses: car, truck, bus, and again establish additional specific attributes with each subclass. Car is the four-wheeler, bike is the two-wheeler, truck is the six-wheeler, and establish additional specific relation types between each subclasses. So fuel, the car and bike will go through the petrol only. Okay, that is the establishing relation between two subclasses. Next, this is the instance of the specialization. Here all these are employees and working on in some organization. So in that employee we are deriving three more: secretary, engineer, and technician. So like that, here this is the Vignan's employee. Okay, so here these employees are classified into different departments. One is IT department, or CSE department, or EC department. So like that we can deriving the employees into different instances. Okay, let's see an example of the specialization. Here employee is the superclass the secretary, technician, engineer is the subclasses. Okay, so I am specializing the secretary, technician, engineer to employee. Okay, so here notice that here one relation called D. Okay, so D with single line and here D with double line. Okay, so D with single line represents disjoint partial. Here D with double line represents disjoint total. Okay, in coming slides I will give the clarity what is disjoint total and what is disjoint partial. Okay, now see the specialization. Okay, the employee was deriving three specializations here. One is secretary, technician, engineer, and second one is manager, and third one is hourly employee and salaried employee. Okay, these are the three specializations deriving from the employee. Okay, I hope all of you clear with the specialization. Next, generalization. So generalization is the reverse process of the specialization. Means several classes with common features are generalized into superclass. Okay, so the original classes become its subclasses. Okay, again the previous example, the car, truck and the bike, all these subclasses are generalized to vehicle. Okay, that is generalization. Okay, the vehicle is specialized to car, bike, truck, that is specialization. Okay, so here see the example, car, truck generalized to vehicle, and both car, truck becomes subclasses of the superclass vehicle. Okay, so we can view car, truck as a specialization of vehicle. Alternatively, we can view vehicle as a generalization of car and truck. Okay, I hope clear. Specialization is the, we can specializing the car and truck as a vehicle. Generalizing means we can generalize the vehicle as car and truck. Okay, so let's next. So specialization corresponds to top down process of conceptual refinement. Okay, and generalization corresponds to bottom up process of conceptual synthesis. Okay, so generalization is the top down process. So generalization is the top down specialization is the top down process and generalization is the bottom up process. Okay, so specialization means top down, generalization means bottom up. Okay, so top down means from the vehicle to car and truck, bike. Bottom up means from the car, truck to vehicle. Okay, so this is the example for the generalization. Here see two entities are presented here, car and truck. Here car is one subclass entity and truck is the one more subclass entity. Here having their specific attributes, number of passengers, maximum speed, vehicle ID, price and license plate number. So as well as the truck also having the specific attributes, price, number of axles, tonnage, vehicle ID, license plate number. So these are the two entities of subclasses. These are generalized to the vehicle. So here the car and truck are generalized to vehicle. So the vehicle having the specific attributes and as well as the car and truck are having the specific attributes. Okay, so generalization is the bottom up process, specialization is the top down process. Okay, so here we can observe D with double line means disjoint total. Okay, so in coming slides I will give the clarity disjoint total and disjoint partial. So generalization and specialization. So see this, The diagramic notations are sometimes used to distinguish between the generalization and specialization. The arrow pointing to the generalized superclass represents generalization, and arrow pointing to the specialized subclass represents the specialization. Okay. Arrow pointing to the generalized superclass, it is generalization. Okay, pointing to the superclass, that is generalization, and arrow pointing to the specialized subclass, that is represent specialization. Okay, so we do not use this notation because it is often subjective as to which process is more appropriate for a particular situation. So we advocate not drawing any arrows in this ER diagrams. Okay. Next, see assignment 1. Let's take what is subclass. What is subclass? A subclass, an entity type can have additional meaningful subgroupings. Those subgroupings are called subclass or subtype. Okay, the entity type having the capability to subgroupings, that subgroupings is called subtype or subclass. Okay, so what is superclass? Here superclass, an entity which is having the capability to give the subgroupings, that is superclass. Okay, so employee is the superclass, secretary, engineer, technicians are the subclasses. And what is inheritance? So inheritance means getting the attributes from the superclass to subclasses, that is called inheritance. Okay, getting the properties from the employee to secretary is called inheritance. Next, what is specialization? So specialization is the top down process, and what is generalization? Generalization is the bottom up process. Okay. Next, so constraints on specialization and generalization. Okay, so if you can determine exactly the entities that will become members of each subclass by a condition on the value of some attribute, on the value of some attribute of the superclass, such subclasses are called predicate defined or condition defined. Means, for example, in employee superclass having the attribute job type. Okay, that is the employee superclass attribute job type. Within the job type, I am giving the value job type equal to secretary. Okay, and if means within the superclass attribute, I am giving the condition job type equal to secretary. So condition is nothing but here constraint. So that constraint specifies only that subclass secretary. Okay, so condition is a constraint that determines subclass only. Okay, here superclass job type attribute, I am giving the condition job type equal to secretary. So that is, that constraint determines only the subclass members secretary. Okay, so display a predicate defined subclass by writing the predicate condition next to the line that connects to the subclass to its superclasses. Okay, so let's see attribute defined specialization. So attribute defined specialization means if all subclasses in a specialization have their membership condition on same attribute. Okay, the job type is the specialized to all the three subclasses: technician, engineer and secretary. Okay, so the specific attribute job type that is common to all these three subclasses. So in that condition we can call it as attribute defined condition. Such attribute is called defining attribute of the specialization. Here job type is the defining attribute specialization. Okay. Next, see displaying attribute defined specialization. Here this is the job type. Here this job type is the defined attribute for secretary, technician and engineering type. Okay, that is defined attribute. If the job type equal to secretary, then that is the predicate defined condition. Okay, if job type equal to secretary, then that is predicate defined condition. If the job type is belongs to all the members in the subclasses, that is attribute defined condition. Okay. Next, constraints on the specialization. When we don't have a condition determines membership, the subclass is called user defined. Okay, so we don't have any condition for determining the membership in the subclasses, that is called user defined condition. In that case also we can define through membership in a subclass is determined by the database users. Okay, so we can determine in the condition by the database users by applying an operation to add an entity to the subclasses. Okay, and one more, membership in the subclass is specified by individually for each entity in the superclass by the user. Okay, so in the user defined also we can give the membership conditions by the database users or by the superclass users. Okay, so these are the three constraints we discussed till now. One is the predicate defined conditions, attribute defined conditions, and user defined constraints. Okay, so along with that we have two more. One is disjointness constraints and completeness constraints. So now we will discuss disjointness constraint. Okay, so the specifies that the subclass of the specialization must be disjoint. Okay, the subclass of the specialization must be disjoint means if employee table, employee superclass, the subclasses all the secretary and the engineers, these are the subclasses. So the all the employees should be belongs to the secretary or a technician or a engineers. Okay, so that must be disjoint. Okay, an entity can be a member of at most one of the subclass of the specialization specified by D in ER diagram. Okay, so disjointness is specified in ER diagram with D. Okay, now I give the one real time example. For example, if 100 students are presented in the one seminar hall. Okay, so then the faculty said who are belongs to the CSE department go to room 1 and the who are belongs to the EC department go to room 2. Okay, in that case the 100 students are went to their respected rooms, room 1 and room 2. Okay, that is called disjoint. Okay, if all the 100 students are went to their respective rooms, that is disjoint total. Okay, no student is available in that room, that situation is called disjoint total. Okay, okay, I am repeating once again. If 100 students are present in the seminar hall, the faculty said who are belongs to the CSE go to room 1 and who are belongs to the EC go to room 2. Okay, in that situation the all 100 students are went to their respected rooms. Okay, no one student is available in the seminar hall. That situation is called disjoint total. Okay, so if not disjoint, that is the specialization is overlapping. Okay, so what is overlapping? So overlapping means, again I will give one more real time example. For example, 100 people are presented in one location. Okay, in that 100 people, some of them are doing business and some of them are doing job. Okay, so the businessman can be a employee or job man, and the job man can be a businessman. So in that situation we are called overlapping. Okay, the subclasses are overlapping. Businessman can be a employee and employee can be a businessman. That situation is called overlapping. So that is the same entity may be a member of, okay, same entity A may be a member of more than one subclass. Okay, so people is the superclass, businessman, employee man. Okay, the people is the entity, the businessman is the member of the employee, and the employee man is the member of the job. Okay, businessman. So more than one subclasses specialization, that is specified by O in ER diagram. Okay, so disjoint and overlapping. Next, completeness constraints. So in that we have two methods. One is total and partial. Okay, so total specifies that every entity in the superclass must be a member of some subclasses in the specialization or generalization. Okay, so again I am repeating the previous example. The students presented in seminar hall, that is superclass, and if the students belongs to the CSE, go to room 1, if the student belongs to the ECE, go to room 2. In that situation, all the 100 students are went to the respected room 1, room 2. So no student is available. That situation is called disjoint total or overlap disjoint total. Okay. Next, partial means if some students are in the seminar hall, means those students not belongs to either CSE or ECE. So those students are belongs to a mechanical or a civil departments. In that situation, we call it as disjoint partial. Okay, so that is disjoint partial. Again, overlapping total and overlapping partial. So in overlapping total means if 100 people are presented in the location, some people are doing business, some people are employees. Okay, so the job man can be a businessman and the businessman can be a job man. Okay, so in that case overlapping, so all the 100 employees are belongs to these two subclasses, that situation is called overlapping total. Okay, if some people are not belongs to either these two subclasses, okay, that is a partial allows an entity not belongs to any of the subclass. Okay, so the people does not belongs to these two subclasses, either job man or a businessman. In that situation, we call it as overlapping partial. Okay, so that person is belongs to a daily wages man. Okay, so that is called overlapping partial. Okay, so I hope you all of you clear with the disjoint total and disjoint partial. So disjoint total means if all the entities in the superclass must be a subclasses. Okay, so no one entity is presented in the superclass, that is total. Okay, 100 students belongs to either CSE or EC, that is disjoint total. Okay, disjoint partial means some students are not belongs to either CSE or ECE, that is partial, disjoint partial. So overlapping total means so the people are doing business as well as employees, so that is called overlapping total. And overlapping partial means some people are not doing any business or any employee or job, so in that case we are called overlapping partial. Okay, let's see example of disjoint specializations. Okay, so disjoint specialization, here the employee table or employee superclass deriving three subclasses: secretary, technician and the engineer. Okay, with the disjoint partial. Okay, D with single line, so that is disjoint partial. Okay, so what is disjoint partial means? Here the secretary cannot be a technician and engineer. Okay, the secretary cannot be a technician and engineer, and the technician cannot be a secretary and engineer. So as well as the engineer cannot be a technician and secretary. So in that case we call it as disjoint partial specialization. Okay, let's see overlapping total specialization. Here D with O with double line, so overlapping total. So means here the part is the superclass entity type and the subclasses are manufactured part and purchased part. So the manufactured part will use the attributes of the superclass as well as the purchased part attributes. Okay. So the manufactured part should be purchased and the purchased part should be manufactured. So like that there is the overlapping total with O with double line. Okay. Next, rules that apply to insertion and deletion of a specialization. Okay. So deleting an entity from a superclass implies that automatically deleted in the subclasses from all the subclasses. Okay. So an entity, deleting an entity in superclass, that implies that automatically deleted in its subclasses. Okay. Next, inserting. Inserting an entity in a superclass implies that entity is mandatorily inserted at a predicate defined or condition defined subclasses. Okay. I am repeating, inserting an entity in superclass, that entity mandatorily inserted at a predicate defined subclasses or attribute defined subclasses. Okay. Next one more, inserting an entity in a superclass of total specialization, then automatically inserted at least one of the subclasses. Okay. So not automatically, mandatorily insert at least one of the subclass. Okay. Here inserting two possibilities. Inserting entity in superclass implies that mandatorily insert at a predicate defined subclass or attribute defined subclass. Here inserting an entity superclass of a total specialization, that is mandatorily inserted at least one of the subclasses. Okay. Here predicate defined or attribute defined subclasses. Okay. That is the main difference between the insertion two possibilities. Okay. And these are the rules for the insertion deletion of the generalization and specializations. Next, specialization, generalization, hierarchy, lattice. Okay. A subclass may itself have further subclasses specified in it. Okay. Here the subclass may have the subclasses. Okay. That subclasses you can define in hierarchy or lattice. Okay. Hierarchy as a constraint that every subclass has only one superclass, that is single inheritance. This is basically a tree structure. Okay. In a lattice, a subclass can be a subclass more than one superclass. Okay. That is multiple inheritance. That clause is also called shared subclasses. Okay. So a subclass can have only one superclass, that is called single inheritance, and a subclass can have multiple superclasses, that is called multiple inheritance and a shared subclass. Okay. A class with more than one superclass is called shared subclass or multiple inheritance. We can have specialization hierarchy lattice or generalization hierarchy lattice depending upon how they were derived. Okay. Next, shared subclass. Here engineering manager is the subclass, okay, that have the one or more superclasses. One is manager and one is manager, another one is engineer, and one more shared employee. So the subclass having the one or more superclasses, that instance is called multiple inheritance or a shared subclass. Okay. Next, specialization, generalization, lattice, example, university. So see this diagram. Here the person is the superclass entity type and it is deriving three subclasses: employee, alumnus, student. Okay, so with overlapping total. So overlapping total means here whatever the derived the superclass members should be at least one of the subclass members. Okay, and a person should be the person should be a employee or alumnus or a student. Okay, definitely in the university the persons belongs to either employees or a students or a alumnus, so that it is called overlapping total. Okay. Next, again the employee is deriving disjoint total with three subclasses: staff, faculty and student assistant. Okay, so the staff and faculty and student assistants are the derived subclass of the employee. Here staff has the specific attribute position, faculty has the specific attribute rank, and a student having the specific attribute percent time. Okay, so these three subclasses are deriving with disjoint total. So definitely the employees are either a staff, either a faculty or either a student assistant. So these three subclasses definitely belongs to the superclass employee, that is disjoint total. Next, the student assistant again deriving two more subclasses. One is research assistant, one next teaching assistant with the disjoint total. Okay, definitely the research assistant specific attribute project and the teaching assistant specific attribute course. Okay, so these two subclasses are belongs to a student assistant superclass. Okay, next the person having one more specialization super student, that is deriving two subclasses with disjoint total. Okay, so that is graduate student, undergraduate student. Definitely these two subclasses are belongs to the superclass students, so that is called disjoint total. Okay, here take assignment 2. What is disjointness constraint? Okay, so disjointness constraint means if all the entities in the superclass must be meet the any one of the subclasses. Okay, so all the entities in the superclass must be meet the any one entity in the subclasses. Okay, that is disjoint constraint. Okay, what is completeness constraint? So completeness constraint means if the subclasses may have the subclass entity may have the more than one subclass relationships. Okay, means the businessman can be a job man or job man can be a businessman. So that is completeness constraint. Okay, so list different types of constraints: disjoint total, disjoint partial, the overlapping total, overlapping partial, and user defined constraints, predicate defined constraints, attribute defined specialization constraints. And what is shared class? So shared class is nothing but a subclass having more than one superclass, that is called shared subclass or a multiple inheritance. So I am going to summarize the today's session. So first we discussed what is subclass. Subclass is nothing but the entity type having the subgroupings, those subgroupings called subclasses or subtypes. Superclass means the entity have the capability subgrouping, that entity is called superclass. Inheritance means acquiring the properties or attributes from the superclass to subclass, that is inheritance. Specialization is the top down process, Generalization is the bottom up process, and constraints on specialization generalization, one is predicate defined or condition defined, next one is user defined or user defined, third one is attribute defined constraint, and within that we see disjoint constraint and completeness constraint. Within that disjointness, disjoint total, disjoint partial, overlapping total, overlapping partial. Okay. Then finally we discussed specialization generalization, lattice example university. Okay. Thank you.